Welcome back to Learn with Sam and Ash. In this video, we will see the mistakes you should not make in IELTS speaking. Well, these mistakes are total 6 to be very precise. Let's begin with the first one. And the first one is, do not use the words you do not know. Sometimes we just hear some words, but we don't know the meaning of them, but we like them. They are fancy words, and we use in our sentences in IELTS speaking. Do not do that. Because we don't know the meaning, we might not be using at the appropriate place. Let's have an example.
Tell me something about your best friend.
The name of my best friend is Mansi, but she is very rhetoric person and also haphazard.
In this case, you have seen that. She said, my friend is rhetoric and haphazard. Well, these two words are not bad words or not incorrect words, but the usage at that point is incorrect. Haphazard and rhetoric are questions, and haphazard are things on your table. When things are all around the place, that's called haphazard. Your thoughts can be haphazard. Person being haphazard doesn't make much sense, because she heard it from somewhere, she might be using it. Before we go for the next mistake, let me point out something. We have seen that many of our subscribers as well as students asking for a place where they can conduct multiple IELTS speaking tests. Well, we have something called IELTS Masterclass, where we do conduct one-on-one 7 speaking tests for the highest plan. But if you need more than that, we have something called Baby Code app. Let's have a look at the interface of this app. Very basic but effective. As you can see, you can click on Start Speaking Test, but I already had one that's called Previous Tests. If I go into that, if I click on My Test, as you can see, I have given some of the answers. And what do they provide? They provide grammar, vocabulary information, and multiple things. Let's click on one of the answers. This is where they have recorded our answer. Below, they'll provide accuracy in pronunciation, grammar mistakes, as well as fluency. Not just your grammar and vocabulary. It analyzes your answer and gives you a suggestion. How can you make your answer better? Isn't this amazing? I mean, I've never seen an app doing such things. Now, if you want, of course, more solutions or more feedback and also band score, you need to buy the premium for this particular app called Baby Code IELTS app. So I would say that you can get it. We have something called SAM50. Using this code, if you download the app, you will get 50 rupees discount too. So give it a try. You won't be disappointed. 2. Do not beat around the bush. I think this is not just for IELTS speaking. This is for English speaking too. If somebody asks you a question, may I know your name? And you just talk about something else, that doesn't make sense, right? But in IELTS speaking, it's all about bands and you having the correct answer. And if you don't do that, think about it. You will not get good score. Let's have an example of that too.
My hometown is very beautiful place. Sometime I visit there and sometime I don't visit there.
The question was, do you like your hometown? What she would have said is, I do like my hometown because of XYZ reason and there are XYZ things. Well, what did she talk about? She said, I live there and my parents live there and blah, blah, blah. She didn't come to the point. That's called beating around the bush, which is not appropriate for an answer. 3. Do not use short sentences. Well, it's of course clear, right? In speaking, they're checking using 4 criteria or descriptors, which are lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. We have fluency and coherence, and finally, pronunciation. As you can see, all these factors are going against short sentences such as GRA or having coherence in your speech. So if you use short sentences, you are giving invitation for the examiner to give you less marks and eventually less bands. Let's see what a person who might make such mistake do.
I use phone. I have an Android phone. I use it every day.
3 sentences and 3 of them were short. I have a phone and it is Android phone and I use it every day. Maybe not more than 5 words, I would say that. What you are supposed to do is, yes, I do use my phone instead of my computer, and it's really a good phone that I am using. Well, most of the time I use it for work, but sometimes I also enjoy multimedia in there. Now you can see the length of the sentence has increased. At the same time, I am trying to use vocabulary and grammar in order to show that I do know English. I know bigger sentences or larger sentences, and hence the range of grammar will increase. Eventually, you're using the descriptors. That means you're showing that you do know the 4 descriptors, and hence good bands. So do not use short sentences. 4. Do not speak way too fast. It's obvious, isn't it? If you speak way too fast, the examiner might not understand what you are saying. And not just examiner, you yourself might not enjoy your speech, and at times you might fumble because you're going way too fast. You might forget the content. Million things can happen wrong. So please do not use way too fast language, or do not speak way too fast so that others cannot understand. Not just them, you also might not make that mistake. Let's have an example of that too.
I visit there once a month. I enjoyed every minute there with my family. Last time I visited there on my birthday.
So as you can see, you didn't like her speaking way too fast. Some sentences going quickly as they shouldn't, because sometimes pauses are important. They are important because they allow the other person to enjoy your speech. Yeah, so do not speak way too fast. 5. Do not try to memorize answers. Well, first of all, you'll waste time in memorizing answers because every exam will have different questions. I'm not saying different themes altogether. Themes can be same, for example, hometown, birthdays, and parties, or let's say anything. Let it be related to work, study. But the questions will be different. How can you memorize them? And when you memorize, and even if you forget one word, what's going to happen? You will make mistake of, oh, I don't remember that word, like we do in exam. Somebody tells the initial part, I'll remember the full answer. Something like that can happen. Do not try to memorize, just try to make your language better, or try to listen to many recordings so that you have a lot of content in your head directly. Let's have an example.
What is your job? I currently work as an office manager at a large marketing company. I currently work as an office manager at a large marketing company. I currently work as an office manager at a large marketing company. I have been in the job for 5 years now.
As you can see, she was trying to memorize an answer about work. And if she does that, well, she might become successful in memorizing the answer, but she will look like a robot when, speaking out the answer. And in an exam, they can notice that, and they might create an issue for your exam. That is for your parents. 6. Do not worry about your accent. Well, some people feel there's no difference between pronunciation and accent. That's wrong. No accent is incorrect, or you do not get any problem with score if your accent is different. Yes, if it is not understandable at all for normal speakers of English, then yes, you might get deductions, but not when you have neutral accent or any accent which is not way too strong. So do not try to fake accent for like American accent or British accent. In that case, you are ruining your content. Sometimes you forget your content. Sometimes you use the wrong pronunciation. That's wrong. So let's have an example. Someone trying to use an accent. Maybe she is right, but do not try to fake accents.
My hometown is such a beautiful place, and the name of my hometown is Nagpur. I live there with my parents, and my cousins as well stay in the same house, so it's a lovely place to stay in.
Alright guys, these were the 6 things you can see on your screen right now. Do not try to do them, and if you want, you can take a screenshot of this and every day have a look at them so that they all stay in your mind. Next time when you speak, you should be able to ignore them.